At the end of the 1960s, Bill Clinton received a Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford University. Like many young Americans at that period, Clinton opposed the war in Vietnam, and he exercised his right under the First Amendment of the Constitution to speak his mind. Later, when he ran for president, the conservatives used this innocent fact from his history to challenge his ability to serve as commander-in-chief. Yet after serving 2 terms as president, during which he sparingly engaged our military, the right nominated and saw elected a war hawk who had hid from service in the Texas Air National Guard and had gone AWOL even from that. The fact of Bush's AWOL status is incontrovertible, but the right distracted from that by downplaying the significance of Bush's missing DD-214, a record which would have shown the status of his discharge, and by instead diverting focus to a fraudulent record which had first actually surfaced due to its inclusion in a document dump on Bush's own White House website. This controversy, you may recall, eventually led to the firing of Dan Rather from his anchor position on the CBS Evening News. By focusing on the Killian Papers, as they came to be known, the Republicans and both the right and left-wing arms of the media ignored the more significant discovery that Bush had released a document that suggests he never had a DD-214, but rather a DD-258, which would have been the equivalent of a dishonorable discharge. This information was never explored by the media at all, and nobody ever made a public issue of it. Now, however, we have a Democrat in the White House, again, and once again, the right-wing conspiracy machine is in overdrive, stirring up fake controversies to distract from the real issues. First, they called a document provided by and endorsed by the government of the state of Hawaii a fraud. Then, they performed all manner of manipulations and contortions to try to portray 50-year-old newspaper birth announcements as hoaxes. And now that they finally have the long-demanded long-form birth announcement, have they finally laid it to rest? No.
But here's a question that I have right here, sir, and you've seen it. This document, there's a green document. Now, clearly, the birth certificate was on some sort of white background. Did they add the green background to the original birth certificate and then go ahead and Photoshop in a green border to match exactly what they used to cover the birth certificate? I need to know this. You see this fold? This has clearly been photocopied from a book. You see that? It kind of folds back to almost like the binding of a book.
Yes.
And then for some reason, there's a green border around it that had to be photoshopped in. I'm trying to Pamela, were any of these little notations on here? I don't know if our camera can get it. If you close in, you can see some of these numbers that are clearly written in handwriting on the side. We don't know what they are. Trying to figure out a 0, a 2 there, an X up over here, a 1 up here. Were they on the short form?
This is a certification of live birth. When I left the hospital, I left with a birth certificate. I'm sorry I didn't bring it with me, but it looks very much like Donald Trump's. It's a little piece of paper. You got the nurse. Do you know what I'm talking about? Certification, birth certificate. This is a certification of live birth. This is actually not a birth certificate.
I've had a chance to look at the president's birth certificate that was released today.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is now no longer not an inch of room for any sane doubt about the time and the place of Barack Obama's birth or his parentage or the fact that he is a natural-born citizen of the United States of America. Are you now ready to apologize for the crusade that you have mounted against those simple truths?
Well, I hope I will have time to respond, which I did not have an opportunity to do before. And I believe that Obama's statement today is nothing but a preemptive strike. We do have a court hearing coming Monday morning, 9 o'clock, in the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. And the reason he is talking about this issue, if I can have a close-up, is because at this hearing and 2 other hearings, I'm providing documents. Can I have a close-up, please, sir? Sir,
what is it? Tell us what the document is.
Okay, this is Barack Obama's. Can you do a close-up? I need to show this.
Tell us what the document is.
This is Barack Obama's Selective Service Certificate.
Okay.
And if you look at it...
Yeah, we don't have to see it. Now, I want you to talk about the birth certificate you saw today for the first time in your life. Do you accept the veracity of the birth certificate you saw today for the first time in your life?
Okay, Okay, first of all...
Yes or no on the birth certificate. Is that his birth certificate? Do you accept that?
Okay, are you going to let me speak?
No, I am not going to let you talk about anything.
Your program is nothing but
Listen,
Obama.
You have to tell me whether you accept the truth of that birth certificate.
Let me respond.
No. Early tapes, you're not going to do... No, this is not where you come...
When one person on the left, abetted by the president's own people, actually perpetrated a hoax, we on the left acknowledged it and were cowed by their finding into not pursuing a legitimate line of inquiry any longer. When no hoax is perpetrated by the left, just the claim from the right was enough to launch an ongoing media blitz. Here's the bottom line. Clinton did nothing wrong other than cheat on his wife, and Obama is qualified to serve as president. But Bush was a draft dodger who went AWOL and who, as president, used deception to involve us in a quagmire of a war that lasted longer than any other in U.S. history. P.S. John McCain was born in Panama. Also, while we're at it, Ronald Reagan illegally funded money to the Contras, and Richard Nixon ordered the carpet bombing of Cambodia and orchestrated the illegal wiretapping of his office and the theft of documents from the campaign offices of his Democratic rival.